wasn't expecting it to burn him. He did. I used to pillow and suffocate him.
As hard as it was for you, audience, to hear those words, this woman feels them much more deeply than you ever can, because this is Carol. She is Christina's mother.
The case of Christina Marie Riggs. Disclaimer: the case you are about to watch is solely for educational purposes. It contains extremely sensitive and disturbing details, presented without sensationalism, but rather to inform. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. 5-year-old Justin and 2-year-old Shelby thought that they were safe at home with their loving mother, Christina Marie Riggs. They couldn't be more wrong, because in the depths of the night, a mother who had reached her breaking point entered the room and took the lives of her 2 children. The look of despair on their little faces would haunt Arkansas for years to come. What really happened on that fateful day? Be sure to like and subscribe to be updated on new crime stories. Christina Marie Riggs was born and raised in Oklahoma. She was born into an average family, but her childhood was riddled with memories of horror. At a very young age, she was SA'd by a close relative, not once, not twice. Unable to tell anyone what she was going through, she turned to alcohol and marijuana. At the age of 16, she got pregnant. Unwilling to become a mother at that young age, she gave the baby up for adoption after birth. She decided to go back to school and successfully earned a nursing degree. She did a few social worker jobs before finding a more stable job at a veteran hospital. She was exceptionally good at her job and was beginning to enjoy life, living without worries. That was until 1991, when she got pregnant with a man who disappeared shortly without any warning. Christina gave birth to her first child, Justin Thomas. While she was still pregnant with Justin, she met another man that same year by the name John Riggs, and in 1994 they welcomed little Shelby into the world. The family moved to Arkansas in 1995, where Christina's mother lived. This was a new beginning that was supposed to bring the family together. Instead, things began to fall apart. According to her testimony, Christina said that John became very toxic and aggressive. She once saw him get physical with Justin, and at that moment, she decided to leave him. After the divorce, she got full custody and began to raise Justin and Shelby on her own. She did this while working shifts at the hospital. The only help she had was her mother, whom she would pay for babysitting services. But she thought her mother was barely hanging on, and her kids' presence was certainly unwanted in Carol's home, if not for the reward of payment. Christina appeared to have it all together, managing a strenuous job and raising 2 energetic kids. But soon enough, something in her broke. On the 4th of November 1997, Christina Marie Riggs left her workplace, the Arkansas Heart Hospital, with a deadly intention. She was reportedly one of the most dedicated and hard-working nurses at the hospital and was said to be very professional and empathetic. But something wasn't quite right. That afternoon, she had made a decision that would change her whole life, and no one even knew about her plans. She planned to take the lives of her kids and then take hers. She had planned it all, leaving the hospital with unauthorized medications such as morphine, potassium chloride, and amitriptyline. These medications were supposed to make her plan seamless and without struggle. That afternoon, Christina made her way to her mother, Carol Thomas, who would babysit her kids while Christina was at the hospital. Carol felt a certain uneasiness in her daughter and asked if everything was fine. Christina affirmed and was in a hurry to leave. She paid Carol for her services and left for home. Upon arriving home, everything remained routine, as if nothing had changed. The kids had lunch, took their bath, played together, and as the night drew close, Christina prepared the kids for bed. Before tucking them in, Christina did something that was unusual. She told the kids that they could have some candy before bed. She laced the candy with an unsafe amount of amitriptyline. As the kids lay on their beds, slowly succumbing to the effect of the amitriptyline, Christina prepared for the next phase of her plans. She filled a syringe with a lethal dose of potassium chloride and administered it to her son Justin. Potassium chloride was a deadly chemical that was famously used in penitentiaries. But something unexpected happened. Justin began to react to the lethal dose. He woke up abruptly and began to convulse aggressively, screaming and crying. She reached for the morphine and quickly injected him with it. The morphine didn't work immediately. He began to cry out to Mom, begging for his life, kicking and struggling. Christina grabbed a pillow, placed it over his face, and pressed onto it. Justin fought for as long as he could, but it didn't take long before he went numb. Shelby, who was still under the effect of the earlier dose, didn't put up much of a fight as Christina used the same pillow to suffocate her till she passed. Christina reported being affected by the look of confusion and fear on their faces as they took their last breath. But it wasn't over. Christina placed their bodies side by side on her bed as she began to write parting letters to her loved ones. One to her ex-husband, one to her mother, and a third to her sister. In the letters, she expressed her fears and failure as a mother and an overwhelming exhaustion in continuing with life. She stated that she took the lives of her kids because she didn't want them to grow up finding out that their mother had unalived herself. She was also concerned that no one would take care of her kids when she was gone, so she wanted to take them with her. She carefully placed the letters where they would be easy to find and then ingested up to 28 amitriptyline pills, a huge overdose. Then she also injected herself with potassium chloride and lay on the floor waiting for death. She became unconscious, but death never came. Carol, Christina's mother, visited the house the following day and found the bodies of both her grandkids already deceased and lay side by side on Christina's bed, but Christina still had a heartbeat. She immediately called paramedics, who arrived just in time to save Christina. By the evening, she had been detoxified and her system stabilized. Detectives searched the apartment thoroughly and discovered syringes, medications, and the letters that Christina had written with the hope that she would be long gone before they were found. The detectives immediately appeared at the hospital, asking Christina for an official confession. Without hesitation, she told the police everything they needed to hear, everything she had done that night. The question was, how was she alive? During interrogation, she revealed that she used the combination of amitriptyline to induce sleep and potassium chloride to stop the heart, in the hopes that the kids would not suffer any pain. Apparently, she got the measurements wrong. She had to supplement by using a pillow to unalive the kids faster, but in her case, there was no one to do the same for her. She also said that she didn't speak to anyone about what she was going through because she didn't think anyone cared. Christina was taken in by the police and charged with 2 counts of capital murder. She was able to speak with a lawyer before the court date, and when she was finally presented in court, she pleaded not guilty. The defendant argued that she suffered from severe mental illness, even though her confessions were clear and had the making of someone who knew what she was doing and understood the consequences of what she was doing. The handwriting on the letter was well coordinated and uninfluenced. Her home was also orderly. Nothing about her life signaled mental illness. There was no doubt that the murder was premeditated. During her confessions, she had stated that she only meant to unalive herself from the beginning. But somewhere along the line, she began to see the cracks in her idea. Her children would be left alone with her body. That was where she decided to add them to her plans. However, things didn't quite go as planned. During her trial, she claimed to have lost all reason to be alive and wanted a way out. Her lawyer argued that she had been living with severe depression from years of accumulated pressure from failed relationships, financial struggles, untreated SA traumas, and deteriorating self-esteem. Prosecutors painted Christina as a monster who hated the burden of raising 2 kids, and wanted to be free to live her life, free of responsibilities. They emphasized that the murder of those kids was not an afterthought, like she would like the court to believe. Rather, she took her time to plan their murder and carried it out effectively. The defense tried to secure a lighter sentencing for Christina, but she stood up and did something unexpected. She asked for the death sentence. She didn't want to be considered, spared, or pitied. She wanted to be with her babies, and nothing else mattered. The court granted her the death sentence, and she was transferred to Arkansas's female death row facility. She was placed in a cell to wait for her date of execution. At 8:40 p.m., Christina was led to the execution chamber and strapped to the chair. She received no visitors before this day and refused any, even on her final day. In her final statements, she expressed remorse for taking the lives of her babies and apologized to those who knew them. The signal was given and the lethal injection was administered. In a few minutes, Christina's body lay lifeless. She was pronounced dead at 9:28 p.m. The 28-year-old mother of 2 finally got her wish. This harrowing story remained one of the most disturbing stories from Arkansas. If you want to see more crime stories such as this, subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next episode.